episode 738. How are you?
Just loving life over here.
For realsies.
Actually, no. I am super over
Actually, no.
the rain. Can we not do that? Like so I just get this beautiful, this is going to be first world problems. Get ready. We just get this beautiful patio done. Eli works so hard to do it. It's got we got outdoor furniture. We got a cool TV out there. I could like watch my shows.
Yeah,
and we
watch
got a
my
fire
stories.
pit, and I can like roast my marshmallows and have some s'mores with Ritz crackers.
Yeah,
and I can't really because it's always fucking hailing or raining every day. There's a thunderstorm. I asked you, like, is this normal? He's like, no.
Okay. Well, then you're lucky because it is normal here. So I totally can relate. I have been there. Like, and it is terrible when you do a project and then you can't even enjoy it.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. That's awful.
It's like we just built the pool and all of a sudden had a snowstorm in July. It's like, what are we doing here? I don't like it.
Maybe the good thing about like climate change is that the summer
can't wait for this.
You're probably going to have like a longer window to use that roof. Like September and October, still going to be super.
I said that to Eli, and he goes, "No, we had our first snow in October last year." And I was like, "What?"
I would be willing to make a wager.
Yeah, I think it is going to be pushed back, and it's
as
going to
Peg
be,
would say, Indian summer.
Yeah,
whatever that is.
Whatever that is. Yeah. It feels just weird when it's also 96 degrees outside.
Oh yeah,
and it's too hot.
So sticky
in this season. In this time that's unseasonably rainy. I get all the rain, all the water I want falling from the sky, but I can't plant any plants up there because my succulents got sunburned. It got too hot. It got up to like 150 on those the roof decks.
I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen.
Oh, my jade plant has spots, like brown spots, just sunburned.
I did see on BBC that some cactuses, which they're not cacti anymore, are just like flopping over because they're too hot.
Yeah, this is
cactus?
I can't. I put cactus up there thinking that's the only thing that'll survive, and then I was like, oh no, come back down. It was too hot. Like the temperature radiating off of that deck, a dark gray wood deck, made it too hot for any plants to live up there. If
it's too hot for a cactus,
right?
That's not good.
Can't say my skin is going to do real well. The old
We're
dry
doomed.
Heat. Yeah, and it's not a dry heat because the rain's falling from the sky.
No, that's a wet heat.
Yeah,
wet heat over there.
So that's why I'm complaining.
That's fine.
I just want to like go on my roof, sip my Aperol spritz, still mentally be in Croatia or Europe. I'll take anywhere in Europe.
I'm sorry that's happening.
So that's happening. Have you seen the Barbie movie yet?
Not yet, no.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, you got to get out there. What are you going to wear? You have a whole outfit, right?
I should.
Yeah, you should. I really depend on you for these types of things.
And what am I doing? I need to get a pink dress.
You do.
Okay, I get it. This is I'm into this. I'm a true summer, so pink is good.
I love it. You haven't referenced being a true summer in a long time. I've almost forgot. Oh, that's right. Gosh. So you look great in pink. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, those bright colors. Anything that's like neon. Like like look at that. Oh.
If you really wanted to do it properly, you should go as your favorite Barbie, get those rollerblades strapped on.
Right.
And like spandex shorts and all that jazz. 3 cheers. 3 cheers.
Fanny pack.
Yes, do it.
I was thinking, I'm like, what are we going to do for Halloween? Should we be our favorite Barbies for Halloween? Is everybody going to be their favorite Barbie for Halloween?
We could do that.
Yeah, I was either that or we're going to have to be Pee Wee Herman and Miss Yvonne. And
I would do that too.
That would be really fun.
We got to do it up big for the Candy Club Halloween meeting.
I know.
Let's start planning now because...
Yeah, we do need to start planning.
So we merged our documentary club and our book club into one epic candy club.
Epic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I told the people because I knew they were going to be nervous. Like, wait, only one? Like, they would feel like ripped off. This is a quality, not quantity situation.
This is like a 1 + 1 = 3.
That's right. More than the sum of their parts.
Yes.
I'm telling you what. Because we got plans. We got plans for giveaways. We got plans for shenanigans.
Yes.
And
I'm super into our themed months. Because it has inspired me, and I feel like
that's great.
It's almost like the perfect like wine and cheese pairing that we're doing with like the documentary club pick and the book that we read.
Yes.
Oh,
I agree. Yeah,
it's so fun. I really do think that we are going to have like
people will see.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I just love it. I love our club.
It's going to be a party. It's every month we're meeting on Zoom, and you can sign up for the August month. Our theme is true crime, and Sarah picked a book. I picked a documentary, and there will be a giveaway. Just join and see what you think. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so Barbie movie, you know. My favorite thing about the Barbie movie, though, is the male outrage about the Barbie movie. And I'm saying this as like somebody who hasn't even seen it yet. And I'm already like, yeah.
Here's
Make them mad.
One thing that gave me pause about the movie. It's been so much good stuff. So I'm excited still and everything. One thing that is Chelsea Devenentes, who is the host of the Celebrity Book Club. She was saying, and she's was the head writer for Jon Stewart's show on Apple or whatever. She's real smart and funny. And she was saying how she noticed that Ken, and then I don't know the name of the other male, that Asian guy that was also a Ken.
Yeah, Ken.
Ken, number 2. They had all the best jokes, she said, and they had a song and choreography, and Barbie's jokes weren't as funny, and they didn't. That was the only what's the opposite of a silver lining? Poo-colored lining.
Yeah, or that's the rain cloud on the sunny day.
Everything's about rain today. Okay.
Yeah, this is a weather themed episode. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll have to see it to see if I agree. But that was oh, you got to give Barbie the best jokes.
Yeah, or maybe is that person just falling? Okay, well, I'll have to see.
Yeah, you can report back.
Yes, but Jackson Katz, who is this, he's a feminist, speaker and author, and he is the producer of the movie documentary that I've been trying to get find access to for our doc club called Tough Guys, GUISE.
Oh, yes.
And I've listened to him speak. He came to my college and he spoke, and he's amazing. And he has this whole interview about how great Barbie is to shine the light on the problem we have of a male-dominated patriarchal society. And it was so good. And every single word he says is amazing. And it's just really nice when you see the guy who's been doing that work for so long, still just crushing
saying
it
the truth,
speaking the truth, and I really like him. So check that out.
Do you think that it is typically the case that these really cool pop culture expressions of a more important point, it's a fun, silly movie, and you can
Don't
take it
Look
just
Up.
as that, or you could absorb the message that's underneath. Do you think that typically has an impact on cultural change? Or
yeah, I do.
I hope so. I
do, because in the same way, I remember being. This was probably when I was in my early 20s or something, maybe even younger, and I remember I can remember to this day having this awareness of how the show Family Guy was actually helpful for a lot of it normalized things in a way, and made through the jokes made things like being gay okay. And I remember having that thought about homosexuality in particular, being nobody's going to care about this.
Weird.
Stop being weird. Because look, who cares? Even family, making a joke, but everybody just chill the fuck out.
Chill out.
Yeah, and I had this feeling of like, oh, good. Anybody who grew up watching this is not going to be voting against, gay rights later, because you can't. Those things like don't coexist. And if you do, then you're not watching it right, And so I remember having that thought about how it does in a way like push the I don't know, needle forward or whatever the expression is.
I think that's undeniable. Will and Grace, same.
Yeah, and you can watch them and still there's like cringy parts to it. But there's something about just exposing people to new ideas that plant seeds.
That's
that
the real
grow.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
Right.
I'll tell you what else is helpful and useful, and that is therapy. And this show happens to be sponsored by BetterHelp, which is a great way to get therapy because you can do it from any where you are.
I am going to go ahead and call him out because he wouldn't even mind. Guess who is BetterHelp's best help? That's funny. BetterHelp's newest member, America's boyfriend, Eli.
Oh my gosh. Good for him.
He has started, he's now 3 weeks in to therapy, and he comes down and he shares what he's learned. And I'm like, that's so good. And like I could tell when he's using the things because like we are communicating better. And he's like, I'm really going to try to utilize my I statements in this conversation.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I love
that's
you so
great.
much.
And
it's
you can
very
share
sexy.
mine. Yes, it is.
Very, very sexy.
And maybe that fella who bought the collie costume could give BetterHelp a try because I think he might want to talk to some people. And you can find somebody that specializes in exactly what it is that you're struggling with. If it's family stuff, childhood stuff, relationship stuff, stress, anything, grief, we all have our own story and they can help you deal with yours. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/BrainCandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BrainCandy. And if I wasn't clear, it allows you to see a therapist and talk to someone remotely from wherever you may be, your devices. Mm-hmm. You don't have to actually go into an office, which is much more convenient for a lot of people. There you go.
We've literally done therapy on a camping trip. So
wow,
you can do it.
You can do it on the road.
I've given it and received it.
That's oh my God. Right.
Yeah. Why not? It's really great.
You're not in the office.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how it goes. So
that's life.
Yes. I didn't mean for this next story to so closely relate to what do I want to talk about next? Yeah,
okay.
I guess
I know it's always a debate about the
never
order.
know because I'm like, what order? I feel like. Okay, first I'll talk about this because we already naturally segued into this.
Okay.
Because I'm talking about weather. We're talking about how it's raining and all this stuff. And something that I was saying in the rain, how it's unseasonably rainy, then kind of clicked with me because they didn't talk about this in the article. And now Sarah all of a sudden has theory. I'll explain. I read this article in The Atlantic on how Colorado's snow is vanishing into thin air. And the water cycle, as you know it, is not correct.
Why?
Because it's missing this one weather phenomenon, I suppose you can call it that, or weather process called sublimation, which is when water goes from a solid to a gas with skipping the liquid phase.
Oh, man.
So this is happening all over the mountains in Colorado. This is what is going on. So what researchers are scratching their head about.
It's so cold or whatever that you throw like boiling water in the air. Or no, that would be liquid still.
That goes,
gas.
yeah. But this is where the snow, it says right here, right now there's this mountain biological laboratory that happens to be on this mountain called Gothic Mountain, hello.
Yeah. It's your mountain.
It's my mountain. I'm going camping there this weekend. I'm very excited about it. Yes.
Okay. What's the reason it's called that, though?
I don't know, but I'll report back.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. They're having a wildflower bloom. So
Oh, that'll be great.
We're camping in the middle of the wildflower.
All the flowers will be gone after Sarah.
Yeah, there'll be like a ring, and the biological laboratory is going to be like, what?
It'll be like crop
here?
circles,
right?
but like
Yes,
just
that's
Sarah
exactly
clipping
it.
flowers.
It'll be like, yes, and you could just see anywhere within like a 3-foot radius of like where I can pluck. Like I'll be there, and then they'll
And
just
then
be
on
like,
the back of her truck is just like a pile of wildflowers.
can you get arrested for littering flowers? I'm gonna hope not, because I know you can't get arrested for littering feathers. That's one of the only things that you can litter without getting fined.
I'll just take your word for it.
That's true, because chickens coming off of the feathers coming off of the back of trucks when they transport chickens, they had to make it so. That's one of the things that you can.
Who would have ever called that
legally-
littering? That'd be like if my hair came
They
out
had to
in
draw
the
the
wind.
line. They had to draw the line somewhere.
That's
of
where
like,
it's drawn.
There's. I want to say this was like a trivia question at a trivia night one time. What are 3 things that are legal to litter? And one of them is chicken feathers, like feathers, and I can't remember the other 2. But there's things that naturally like would fall off of a truck when you're transporting them, and so you're like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, maybe it's hair.
Yeah, could be something like that. Because
All
what are you
right.
going to do? Okay,
What are
back
you
to the story. So at this research laboratory, they're trying to solve this mystery of where all of the water is going. So it's estimated that between 10 to 90% of the snow in the Rockies disappears, gets absorbed or whatever, via sublimation. This process that definitely was not in that water cycle song I learned when I was little.
No, right.
And that margin of error, 10 to 90%, it is really has like a lot of catastrophic kind of like consequence to it when you don't know how to measure how much snow is going to disappear. Because Colorado, decides how much water to release in like the reservoirs and how much water to hold and like keep and reserve.
Right. They have to be strategic about it.
They have to be strategic about this. And when you see all the snow up there, we're like, wow, what an unseasonably like a large snowfall we've had this year. And like Tahoe buried in like 112 inches and da-da-da-da. And so there's all this feeling of, oh, it's great. The lakes are going to be filled. But then you look into the mountains and like the beginning of this article I was reading talks about how you watch the snow all of a sudden just turn into a cloud and drift up.
Why is
like
that
disappear? I don't know. I don't know if it's that it gets too hot or that they didn't explain that in this article.
I hate when they do that. They're just like, hear ye, hear ye.
This is the answer. It's one of those nasty, wicked problems that no one wants to touch. The researchers say
Touch it.
You can't see it, and very few instruments can measure it. And then people are asking, what's going to happen with climate change? Are we going to have less water for the rivers? It's more of is more of it going into the atmosphere now, and we just don't know.
I get really sick of them saying that.
It's like, how do you send? I always go back to how do we send somebody to space, but not know how to measure how much snow disappears? And then when we were talking about how it's so rainy, I'm complaining about my furniture getting all wet and the hail. Maybe that's why.
Why?
Well, because all the sublimation, the snow is going up as a gas, and then it's turning into like condensing into hail or something and then just falling. Like we're skipping the part where it turns into the liquid and like goes water and goes into the lakes.
See, what you just did is a greater attempt at figuring it out than the white coat people.
Well, they need to just remodel a patio and maybe they're too busy up on Gothic Mountain.
Maybe when their cactus passes out from the heat, they'll sing a different tune.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this seems to be
the apocalypse.
I
know. We're in the end of days.
When they're like, where'd the snow go? The good news is I went up to the mountains this weekend, like I was saying, and, or maybe I was saying that last episode, whenever. I went up to the mountains, and the rivers, there are lakes that I have never seen before. That are filled.
Okay.
And the areas that I went by last year, I was saying that to Eli. He's like, wow, this area had no water. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. There was nothing there.
Well, you know how like we were talking about how climate change is making it so that like we're finding all these dead bodies in like Lake Tahoe and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I saw one of those stories, but it was about Everest and how like all these frozen ass climbers are all coming out. And I'm just like, I hate those guys, you know?
We shouldn't do it. Close it. Close Everest. Charge them if you need to take a picture of it.
Yeah. Isn't there a better way to get up the top of that thing anyway?
I mean...
What a nice gondola would be nice. It would be great.
What's the guy
you can make your money, more money even, and get all those dickheads off your mountain. I think it's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with the little gondola.
The Sherpas could just operate a lever instead of having to schlep up the fucking mountain every day.
Yeah. It's not fair. It's very dangerous. And I now that you got me thinking about... They better be a pack in, pack out situation. Nobody's leaving shit up there. That mean everything that you bring, you take with you, including your own shit.
They're not doing that. They're
I don't
leaving
think they
Snickers
are. I think they are. I think they are. They're probably litter bugs. I can see that
because
they're those power people.
Still up there.
People who are climbing Everest, or people with power and who have like the resources.
Tech bros.
Yep, and those people, as we learned in a previous episode.
Brain damage.
Brain damage. Those guys are litter bugs. Oh, I hate it even more than I already did.
I was thinking of that brain damage thing because Adam was watching this documentary about Julius Caesar, and he was like super paranoid, thought everybody was, he started doing crazy shit. And I'm like, well, let me tell you why.
I'm telling you, what I've been thinking about it too, Suze. Once you run everything through that filter of it's like it makes everything make sense. We were watching. Oh, what were we talking about? Eli and I were like watching. I don't remember something. I think it was Below Deck. Something with a lot of rich people on it. We're watching something with rich people, and it was like, yep, this because there's this feeling of how could they act like that? That doesn't make sense. And then when you apply that logic to it, that like
this is what we always
understanding, we're like, oh, actually, that makes total fucking perfect sense.
Sarah and I always say, as soon as you think the thought, like, I don't get it, that doesn't make sense, it's because you don't have all the information.
Right.
And we just got some information. And now things are making a lot more sense.
Right. It really is Occam's razor thing. Like the simplest answer is like the correct one. And that we just don't have that simple answer. Simple answer is, oh, they got that way because the power that they have. There you go.
And I'll tell you a simple answer to your morning routine, and that's AG1. Am I right?
Wait. This is so good. I love when you say things. And I always get my shipment sent here because people steal things from my porch at my house.
I know. AG1, baby.
AG1.
There it is. That is a big old box, too. She is not kidding about this habit she has.
I am never going without it because when I do, I notice a difference in my energy levels and skin. Yes. It's really crazy. Like,
I guarantee you, if you met Arnold... And you're like, I'm in the pump club. And he'd be like, prove it. And you're like, guess what I do every day?
Yeah. He would like totally high-five me for that.
He would high-five you.
If I meet him, I'm totally going to tell him.
Yeah, because part of the reason why I tell people to floss their teeth, it's because it's an easy thing you can do that will actually improve your health.
Yes.
This is another example of that. This takes no effort whatsoever. And it is good for you.
And my mountain trip, 2 out of the 3 couples that went, me and Eli, and then my dentist, were already. I definitely went on a trip with my dentist. We already use AG1, and we were talking about we're like drinking our little green drink. By the time we left, 3 out of 3 couples were using the best kind of peer pressure. It totally was. I'm like. All the dentists here in this building recommend it.
100% of dentists.
100% and 100% of the therapists, too. So,
if you are looking for a simpler, effective investment in your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/braincandy. That's drinkag1, like the number, not the word, .com/braincandy. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So basically,
I hear what you're saying.
I mean, I'd like to think that they're doing like hard work up there at the old Gothic Mountain Research Laboratory, but
they're shrugging.
They're just like taking cool hikes, checking out the wildflowers, smoking a little bit of Colorado's finest.
I could have done that.
I mean, are there openings?
Yeah, right. We're in the wrong business.
Right? Do they know how much I love plants?
They probably heard you're a petty thief.
Yeah, and they're like, watch her.
Yeah. That's why the plants are disappearing. Now we got to figure out what the snow is.
Right. So you will see me maybe with some pics of some wildflowers, because I do allow nature flower picking and bringing it back to the campsite, because I feel like I'm already in bug zone, and we even have a camp vase, like a metal one.
That is unreal.
Well, it's not like a real one. It was just a water bottle that I had and lost the lid to.
That is great, though.
So it became the campsite
This is one of my favorite things about you. Because I don't have this gift.
The gift of hoarding?
No, like the gift of seeing something.
Oh yeah.
In a new way. I'm not creative like that. And so I'll even try. I'll be like, what else can I use this for? And I'm like racking my brain.
Just text me. I got it.
I should, because you see like you have the vision, you know what it could be. And that is really cool to have a vase on your camping trips.
Yeah, it is really fun. And it fits perfectly in the car. So then we'll drive somewhere, and then Eli's so cute. He'll be like, those are great flowers. Should I pull over? And I'm like, yeah. And then he'll pull over, and he's got little scissors in his car. And then I snip, and then I put him in the little car vase that we call it car vase until it becomes the camp vase. And then it becomes the camp vase. So, and yeah.
I love it. Good work.
Thank you, Suze.
You betcha.
And, you know, when you say that of like, I don't have that gift to look at something and know how it's used, you know what you do have the gift of? Actually using something useful. You know how many calendars and journals I've gone through the first 2 weeks of and never used? Meanwhile, I believe I'm the one who told you what calendar is the best one that you then got and continued to use.
Yeah.
Did I buy this year's? Nope. Because I had to. Please, we know what calendar I use.
Adult chore chart.
Adult chore chart calendar. Happy to say I crossed off all
you
things
upgraded. You upgraded.
Yeah. Well, you know, but I'm just saying, like, we all have our skills.
Thank you for that compliment. I don't know if that's just like normal. What you have is superhuman to me.
Okay. Well, with a few side effects. So, yes. Okay. So this is a situation that I have to share with you that is one that makes me once again go, are we in a motherfucking simulation?
Okay.
This is not going to be a fact.
But I love them.
This is a Sarah personal story. This is not going to be any facts. Maybe you'll learn something. I don't know. So on this little trip up to Breckenridge, we're walking through this cute little, like, you know, mountain town. It's adorable. And there's a wine festival going on. So everybody walking down the street is drunk. And this is like an aside, but I asked the other women that I was on the trip with, and the guys too. I'm like, is anybody else noticing the unusual amount of women crying? Because I've already seen 4. And then right as I said that, another woman walks by crying, and we're like, okay. And my friend was like, yeah, okay, I see it now. What the actual fuck is going on? And I think people were just getting wine drunk and then getting in fights with their boyfriend and then like walking down the street. I don't know. I have no explanation for why I saw 5 women crying.
I mean, I thought you were going in the direction of like what we talk about, how you cry on an airplane, like in the high elevation.
Maybe that's it. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, I have definitely cried at Aspen Food and Wine, but that was for other reasons. Like,
or was it?
Right. That's why I'm just wondering. Like, I don't know.
I definitely cried at Aspen Food.
Definitely. 100% have cried there. I know I have.
I wish I could remember, like, I think it's that. Oh, fuck. No, fuck. No, that's not it. Adam told me these shortcuts that I can push on the recorder that's like if I want it to be a social media clip. But
this is how good we are at our job.
I was like, that's a clip. And then it went bad. Okay, sorry, Adam.
Yeah, definitely have cried there.
Okay, so why then did you conclude, nope, it's just drunken?
I think that so what happened is I saw the women crying, then I told my friends, then we saw another woman crying, then we went to lunch, then we found out there was the wine festival.
What
and
kind
we're
of
like,
cry?
Maybe.
Do it. Pretend like you're them.
Like walking down the street with a mission, like they're headed somewhere.
Yeah. the snort cry with just like the nose action.
Through like you can tell they're crying through the sunglasses kind of thing. Yeah.
That's bad.
Right. But not
ugly cry.
Not ugly cry. Not like it could also
what
be
kind of cry is that?
I was like, could it be somebody we just saw something uplifting and these are
No, it sounds like worse than that.
Yeah. And then when we saw the fifth one, she was alone and it was extra. And
was she walking with a purpose?
Yeah.
That is the weirdest part.
It did feel like, fine, I'm leaving you then and going to do some retail therapy. That's what the vibe felt like.
Waiting to exhale. Like
something like that. Yeah.
Where they're lighting their boyfriend's clothes on fire. Oh my God.
And if ever anyone's wondering why I said Shooby-Doo, because that is a song from the soundtrack to Waiting to Exhale, which is an amazing soundtrack, by the way.
And I will be upset if anyone didn't know that.
Okay, just saying. So that wasn't even my story about walking down the street, but I had to say that.
Far enough apart
that
they weren't together.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I saw one. We stopped and got some ice cream.
Did some stuff, yeah.
Went into a store, came out.
No men crying.
Saw another one. No men crying. 4 women on my own. Then I announced it because I'm like, am I the only one seeing this? This is weird, right? And then a fifth one, then my friend says, oh my God, Sarah, I just saw, she's walking down the street and she looks at me and goes, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. And we look up and sure enough, tears. And I'm like, okay, this is now, and now they were like, oh my God, you're right. This is a thing. That was not even my story that I was going to tell you, but that was just like a little aside that I had to be mentioned. Here's my story. So as I was telling them, what's the deal with all these people crying? This woman, funny because she's wine drunk. Now we understand why. She goes, oh my God, and she does the freak out thing.
Yeah,
because I'm Sarah from the challenge, and she's like fancy wine lady too, which is always fun. And she's like, tears up and starts crying as well. And I'm like, it must be the altitude at this point.
Yeah, okay.
And altitude plus
we don't know.
Wine equals tears.
That makes sense.
That's maybe why I cry on a plane. So that situation happened and my friends are like, and I gave her a hug and it was so nice.
What was she crying about though? Johnny?
I don't know. No, she was just like, oh my God, I just love you. And I can always, sometimes it feels like maybe we have shared stories.
Well, yeah, because 0 people have ever cried about me.
Yeah,
0.
I get that a lot. And I think it's the sexual abuse thing. Or
they just love you, which is annoying.
Or that. But I can always tell they hug me in a way of like, thank you so, like they say,
knowing
there's
hug.
They're of like it really, and sometimes they'll say something that's like, oh, okay, I know, we're same like that. And, so that happened.
Okay, that's nice.
And my friends are like, wow, that's so nice that you made somebody's day. I'm like, oh, she made mine. So blah, blah, blah. And then not 30 seconds later, I see a woman coming down the sidewalk, that's wearing a shirt that says, all's fair in love, war, and challenges. And it's the logo, not just that's on a shirt. It's the challenge logo.
No.
And I go, oh my God, that's so weird. What are the chances of that? And my friend's like, you have to say something.
You do.
So I tapped her on the shoulder and I go, hey, nice shirt. And she goes, thanks, and just walks by.
She did not.
She did, Susie. I swear. I was like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know. Am I in a simulation? Because that happened. I've never seen that shirt in public. And that happened 30 seconds, maybe actually less. Enough we're standing. I haven't moved from the spot where I just hugged the lady.
I cannot.
And then, and I was like, well, now I feel weird. And then I was like,
of course.
I felt so weird. She just goes, thanks, and keeps walking. Meanwhile, I am the living, breathing definition of that quote. I said that
something has to be done. Like, why didn't you say no?
I should have ran back and like shook her and been like, took off my glasses and been like, hello. Because it's not like I was unrecognizable because I didn't do anything different to when the woman just said,
were your tattoos on show?
Yeah, Susie. Yes, tattoos out. I'm wearing a tank top. It's 90 degrees outside.
I'm furious
I'm walking
at her.
down the street. I just got recognized, so I know I'm not unrecognizable. Drunk lady stopped me. And then woman actually wearing a custom shirt. Like, it's a shirt that she had made or she bought from a challenge face. Like, they don't sell that in the old MTV store.
That's what I would... It's not even like, why didn't you recognize me? It's like, how did you get this shirt?
Right. I want to be like, no. Do you understand what's happening here? That's why I left and I was just like...
That's awful.
Am I dreaming?
That is
It was the most surreal feeling. I was like... And then I have to just play it cool. Like, I didn't just tell somebody, like, and my friends talked about it. They're like, well, you have to say something. I'm like, I don't want, no, I will. And then I do, and then she doesn't do anything. And then I look like, and then our other friends join us, and I just look like the weirdo who's like, oh, yeah, I was on that. Like, I don't know. It was just very bizarre.
I'm not done talking about that, but I'll tell you what's not bizarre. And that's how much I love Rocket Money. I mean, I am almost tired of telling you because if you're not signed up by now, then I don't know what is wrong with you.
I didn't realize how much money I threw away on stupid shit.
It's so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. And then I stopped throwing away money on stupid shit. And then
thanks to Rocket Money.
The month that I went on vacation, I spent less money than when I was home. And then what that did is it gave me the like extra budget to then do what makes me feel better than anything else in the whole wide world, be the best gift giver.
I thought you were going to say ski.
No,
I'm
using I'm like, Eli gets a good birthday present, and this person gets, and brother's got a good, everybody's getting presents, and like I'm the person who's like, no, I'm over budget, nobody's getting any Christmas gifts this year, and it feels so good to be able to be the opposite person this year.
Yes. Because being generous is a gift to you, and that it sounds so stupid, but it is the absolute truth.
I'm feeling so good being able to do that. And all my friends are freaking Leos, so it's like
I know
it's everybody's birthday.
I totally understand that problem. And Leos, if you didn't get them a good birthday present, would be like, "Well,
I'm going to hear about it."
Done here,
yeah.
But Rocket Money is great because it helps you see where your money's going, and you wouldn't believe how much money you're wasting. They will help you negotiate lower bills from a lot of your cable, insurance, stuff like that.
Yeah, car insurance. That's what I did.
And all the subscriptions that you have that you don't want, that you forgot about, they will monitor them. They will cancel them for you. All of that. It's amazing. Like all that streaming stuff where I'm like, oh, I got to watch 30 for 30 and then I forget to cancel it. All that. Yeah. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/braincandy. That's rocketmoney.com/braincandy. rocketmoney.com/braincandy.
You're welcome.
You're
and
welcome.
You'll see. It's like a game. It's so much fun. Speaking of subscriptions that we have to cancel, I have to check Rocket Money, because I definitely was too lazy to go downstairs and get the password for the Peacock account that I steal from you. And so I just signed up for 7 days for free because I didn't want to go downstairs to do it.
Listen, as a member of Pump Club now,
wow,
you would not do that.
You're right. Actually, you're right. I would, because Arnold would.
Oh, he would be not happy, but he'd say tomorrow's a new day, man.
Yeah, but he would he wouldn't shame me, but he would like high five me and cheer me on if I did it. So like knowing that I'm gonna, and I got a praise kink, so like I imagine Arnold like praising me, and it really does get me moving. It's so crazy how much that works.
That is what I tell people is like, you have to find sort of like your flaw, right? So like you love praise, and that's not like a great trait exactly.
No.
But you can hack it
I don't
So, like,
love it. I'm desperate for it. That's different. Like, I don't
require it.
I enjoy it. I will die without it. And I
Yes.
don't know my value if you don't do it.
So we all have these things. Like, I'm
Yes.
too competitive. So I had to find a way to be competitive just with myself. Right. And I still am.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'm going to beat Susie from August. Fuck her.
Yes.
I'm going to, Susie from September is kicking her ass. And so, like, if you can find your trait that's like not great and then hack it.
Yeah.
Secret to life.
Yep. And the thing that makes me feel the best is when I can praise myself for completing a task before the due date.
Oh.
So I mentally push up the due, like, it's kind of like why I set all my clocks are 3 minutes fast.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that they're fast, but that little thing helps me. And I've hacked that, and because I'm always just 3 minutes late. It's not even like actually late. It's like it's like 3 minutes. What is that? But it actually is.
Smart.
Yeah. So I have to
Your
do
own
that.
brain.
It's
so
it
weird.
doesn't make any sense. We just have to do it, like hijack it. And
Okay,
yeah,
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely upset about that woman because either someone like got her that shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where
I think it's one of those things where you really don't like you think in your mind, I'm never going to see somebody from that, and you don't realize it until after. I don't know. I want to know if this person realized that she
didn't.
And then I ran it through my head. I'm like, because I always say, like, don't wear your own, like, you can't wear your own challenge shirt. Like, I can't wear an MTV shirt because it's like the band wearing their own shirt. And I'm
You
like,
could wear
would
an
David
MTV
Grohl
shirt.
from the Foo Fighters wear his own shirt? I mean, maybe, but ironically, but he would definitely say hello to somebody he saw wearing a Foo Fighters shirt, right?
I think so.
I think so too. That's kind of the how I justified it in my head, that I'm not crazy
He
for
would
like
say
tapping
nice
her.
shirt, and then he would.
And then he would keep walking. He wouldn't
Yeah.
right. That's what I did. I was trying to be cool. I really did think I don't know why he was the one in my mind. I was like, what would David Grohl do? Because it felt like, but he feels like cool.
I think he's very cool.
Yeah. And
I
like
will
also
say-
a nice guy and like a dad who would like be fun with his fans and like not take himself too seriously, I think. He seems cool. So
Very cool and nice.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, though, that I saw Debbie Harry from Blondie at the Sunset Marquis Hotel wearing a Blondie shirt, and it was delicious.
that's amazing. You're Blondie.
That's the best shirt you could see Debbie Harry in.
Yes. And I think, did she invent the rock and roll shirt? She might have.
I mean,
Like,
I was like, this is the best moment of my life. Yeah. Because she's like,
wow.
icon.
That's cool. Yeah, like Prince wearing a Prince shirt, Debbie Harry with Madonna wearing a Madonna shirt.
The best. So the thing was, and I know nobody cares, but I loved it. I told Adam the other day, this is one of the top 10 moments of my life, was that one of my best friends, Matt Neroni, was in town in LA, and I wanted him to see a famous person.
Oh.
And he is like a rock and roll guy. And I go, I'm going to take you to the Sunset Marquis. I said, I've always seen a famous person when I'm there.
Come on.
And we're sitting at the bar, and it's like 2 p.m., like not bar time, right? We're sitting at the outdoor bar, and I'm thinking, I blew it. There's nobody there. It's like a ghost
I have
town.
actual goosebumps.
And there she comes like an oasis in the desert in a Blondie shirt.
Like,
and he
just
looks
in
at
case
me,
there was any doubt.
he goes, that is Debbie Harry wearing a Blondie shirt. And that was it. We didn't say anything.
No, because you don't need to.
It was epic because you dream of it.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Sarah, for validating
I
that.
mean, that's almost too.
It's almost, yes.
I'm telling
Simulation.
you, it's getting a little weird.
It's getting weird.
That we should do some experimenting.
Okay, but like, what happened to you feels like a glitch in the Matrix.
That's what it felt like to me. It
Like,
felt like it got folded over and like the wrong person said hello and like I got like I don't.
You didn't read the script, ma'am.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Didn't you feel like?
But the fact that Blondie shows up in a Blondie shirt when you bring your friend who's a music fan and you say this is where we're going to see somebody and like at 2
Okay,
p.m.
that was good. But that was pre-COVID, so like things might be off now. But there is nothing worse that what happens when you're on the challenge is when people recognize you, a lot of times they know that they know you, but they don't know where.
Right.
Because you're out of the context, like seeing your teacher out of school or something. And so a lot of times you have this dilemma as someone from the show where you have to either say, well, I was on the challenge, to tell them where they know you from, or not, which can make you look like an asshole either way.
Right.
So every so often you'll say, well, I usually say, I think it might be an MTV thing. And usually that works. But every so often, like, that's not it.
Right.
And you want to die.
Right. The one time.
Because you think, now they think I want to talk about it, and I do not.
Right. Or it goes the opposite direction, and somebody goes, don't I know you from somewhere? And I say, this was at a Target, and I say, oh, yeah, I was on
God,
MTV.
I'm going to die.
And she goes, no, didn't you go to Redwood?
This is horrific.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my junior high. Correct. Let's not talk about that other thing I just said 2 seconds ago. Have a good day. Bye.
Because they think you're bragging then.
Right.
But you're
and
not.
I was like, I never say that. I'm never like, oh, you know me from the... No.
Because we're embarrassed. Make no mistake.
Embarrassed.
Like it's...
Please.
We come from a place of shame. We're being vulnerable when we say that. Yeah. And they're like, no. Didn't you go to my junior high? Oh my God, it's terrible.
I'm going to kill myself.
Right, I want to die right now. Okay, sorry, go ahead. We went off on a tangent.
God.
Wait,
Yes.
maybe we should take a time to talk about, because we're in the Pump Club now, we have started a really awesome exercise program called Copilot.
Oh.
Hey, we got to talk about it. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, we got to take a minute and just talk about my fitness journey. I don't care what you say about it, people.
I don't know why you feel like you need to defend yourself.
Oh, really? You can't remember the 20 years of me on the challenge being carried or
I see.
or
I
saying
see.
I get a sitter's high?
I see. So you feel like you now, like this is, people are going to be like, what the heck? This isn't your brand. Like now all of a sudden, Susie, I think that this is exactly why this program and, you know, having something like Copilot is really great because that isn't your, like, doesn't come naturally to you.
No.
And I think that it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. And that whole thing, like, if you don't use it, you lose it thing is totally true because now it seems like it has not been coming as naturally to me recently.
Yes.
And I need somebody besides my partner to hold me accountable and help me just stay on top of the things that I want to do.
Yeah. And here's why I chose Copilot and was like, Copilot, listen, you got to work with me because I love you with all my heart. Because I wanted a personal trainer, but I did not want to like stereotypical situation because I have special needs, okay? Right. And so the Copilot allowed me to get a personal trainer to develop a plan based on the equipment that I have in my house, the injuries I may or may not have sustained, the goals that I have, and sort of like my quirks. And then they just check in and say like, hey, Suze, what's cooking? How'd you do on your workout? And then I'm like, not great. Here's why. And we just are able to vibe, as the kids say.
Yeah. Oh. And
then I can reach my goals. I have a specific goal of reaching a certain resting heart rate. That's very important to me.
Oh, good. I chose happiness.
That's so bad. That's even better. I mean,
they were like, what kind of measurements do you want? Because I really want people to know that this is not about a number on a scale if you don't want it to be.
No.
I chose energy and happiness. How happy am I?
That's perfect.
That's perfect for me because I know that when I am happier is when I'm moving my body, when I'm doing things that are in line with my goals. It's like rising tide floats all ships, as you love to say. Yeah. So I chose those and I measure those and they check in. I check in with my personal trainer on how I'm doing on those
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
Great. And I can measure it.
So we would love it if you joined us on our fitness journey. So it's not weird. Like we're just sitting over here being like, hey, did you see my muscles? No, I don't want to do that. I want you to join me. We can commiserate when we don't feel like doing it, whatever.
Yeah.
Just use our link. It's go.mycopilot.com/braincandy to get 14-day free trial with your own personal trainer. So mine is Amanda. Sarah's
Mine's
is Candace.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amanda Candace.
Mm-hmm.
Go.mycopilot.com/braincandy to get a 14-day free trial with your own personal trainer. Give it a try. What the heck?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll join the pump club.
Yeah.
Do it, Sarah.
Whoa,
do
look
it.
at those guns.
You got to do it.
No, mine aren't strong yet.
Do it. I don't like your attitude. All right. We'll see how this goes.
You should see this butt.
I think it's going to be really fun.
Oh my God. I really do feel like I have it's been a long time since I've been motivated to put energy into my fitness because it's been fine. Like it's fine. It's just
fine.
been manageable, but now I actually want to better my experiences and set myself up for success in my later years.
That's what I'm saying.
70s, 80s, 90s. And we live to be really fucking old in my family. So I need all the help I get. And I need like weightlifting. I've learned about bone density, all this shit. I'm motivated. Like,
that's how I feel.
For my own health, which is so much better than to win a challenge.
Here's the thing.
It feels like 100% chance I get the prize when I,
it's true.
prioritize this.
And you know how like we always joke on this show about how like we know all the answers.
Right.
It's community, exercise, food, sleep,
growing stuff,
and
talk to your plants. That's it.
Nature and like we should just do it.
We should just do it. I mean,
that's why that's the Nike slogan because
it's
really actually true.
And I was just having this conversation a little bit ago. I can't remember, but we were talking about. It's almost like we have to prove things to ourselves. I was using the example of like, oh, this smells terrible. Here, smell it. Like we need another. And even when you do smell something bad, you still like smell it again to like convince yourself. Like, why don't we just go like, just trust ourselves? Like, yeah, it's bad, or yeah, that is good. Do that, and then just do it. Like we need like to prove it or hit our own rock bottom in some way of. Whatever
like
that
if you eliminated the noise of all of it, social media, whatever.
Yeah.
You could get there real fast.
Yeah, you can. You were right when you said that, I don't know, you didn't say this on the podcast, you said it to me in one of our personal conversations, that my vacation is going to be such a great time for me to just like clear my mind and like focus on the important things and blah, blah, blah. And without even trying, I like... we were walking like 11 miles a day to and from Gelato, which is like super.
It's kind of ideal.
Yeah, totally the way to do it. And I just felt so good. And I was like,
you were like, what is this feeling? Oh yes. Happiness and peace.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that.
It was like walking and just, so I've been trying to just do that more. This like bakery that I love is very much walking distance from my house, but I've always driven there. And then I went and drove there the other day and it was closed on a Wednesday at like 10. And I'm like, this feels like another glitch where it's like, nah, you only get access if you walk here. I'm like, every time I've walked there, it's been open.
So
how come
funny.
the one day I drive there, it's closed in the middle of the week? Not like a Monday.
You didn't follow the script.
I didn't follow the script that time. They're like, no, you cannot. You know how like sometimes you could play a video game and like the door is locked unless you like go and do this other thing first.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. So I was like, oh, fuckity fuck. I got to walk here. Okay.
I'm telling you, we have the keys.
We really
have the
do.
keys. Yeah.
We really do. We just got to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, do we have time for one more?
We do.
Oh my God. This whole entire episode is just going to be a story about things that shouldn't exist but do and are weird.
Okay.
Did you see the video of, and also I've taught you nothing, but actually no, sublimation. I did teach you that. I taught you about sublimation. Okay. Another phase of the water cycle that you don't even know about. There you go. There were some facts. Cause now this is just like another thing I saw on TikTok. The video of the woman freaking out on the airplane says, okay, so this just happened like yesterday or something. This woman freaks out on an airplane and she is saying, we have to land this plane now. I am telling you, that man is not real.
Oh.
And she says it like that. No, this is like, she doesn't look cuckoo crazy. She doesn't look like she's carrying a fucking, what are those bags that have the print on
Goyard?
Yes. Thank you. See, look at that. Are we good? Are we good at the newlywed? I said 2 clues. Not bag, print. That's all she needed, okay? She knew exactly what I was talking about. I just love us.
I know. I love us.
If you need any more proof what this is, there you go. So she's like wearing that bag. Very questionable ripped jeans that I wasn't big on, but she's like freaking out on this plane, telling the plane to land, and saying that man is not real. Yeah, and that's the video that's caught. Then the plane lands, and security like detains her or whatever. Landing. I think so. I don't know if I don't know if they emergency landed it or if they actually landed at their destination.
Or restrained her or something.
And then took her away.
Okay.
But the weird part is the internet has been trying to identify this woman and they cannot.
Oh no.
So it's like, she's not real. And I don't know. And nobody can explain really why she was pointing to the back. And she's like talking about the flight attendant. And she's like, I don't care what you believe. I don't care what you are saying.
I can see what you're saying.
Real.
Like, usually I hate this shit.
I know.
Like the internet, TikTok, sleuths, whatever. I hate them so much.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
I
know.
I get what you're saying.
It's weird.
Well,
and usually we have that, so a man captures this video on his phone, he uploads it. Usually by the time, like before the plane has even landed, we're like, this is her, this is where she works, this is...
Are you trying to say they did not fight, like there were no authorities to meet her? Because normally that's how this works. So...
I believe there were authorities, but then nobody knows what happens. Nobody even can identify her. Nobody knows what happens afterwards.
Is there not a police report?
They're not that in the updates I'm seeing. It's kind of like
the TikTok updates.
Yeah, correct. I did Google, like I couldn't find it again, so then I Googled like woman who freaks out on plane, and all the articles are saying it's weird that we don't know about who and
was the guy?
I know what kind of sleuth
could you
are,
see a guy? So there was like a dude that she was actually pointing to, or was she pointing to nothing?
Plane, like I read through one of those, like, what do we actually know?
Okay, good. Like yeah, let's get the facts.
Yeah, here are the facts. Fucking nothing in.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was like what we know is she accused, classic Karen. She accused a black passenger of stealing her AirPods. That's people say that
I'm not
happened.
Happy at all.
Right. And then something else happened, and then she is pointing to a flight attendant and saying that man is not real.
Oh my God. I'm going to look this up.
Yeah, definitely watch it. But my favorite thing about this is that people are now recreating her doing that, and there's a very funny one with a bunch of people who are pug owners, and God. She's like, they're all like at this little like group meeting, and she goes, I don't care, it's the same exact script, and she's like, but that pug is not real, and it like pans over to this like inflatable pug, and it's like very funny. And
I see that's what
the
redeems
internet
TikTok.
Jokes. Yeah, the internet the way people are taking her like exact speech monologue verbatim and doing their own versions of it are making me laugh a lot.
Okay, let me tell you one last thing, because what you said about she's a Karen, she's blaming a black guy, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I had like the first opportunity to really give Lincoln like a real life example of like white privilege, because we were leaving the grocery store, and we had only bought a couple things, so we didn't use a bag. We were just carrying it, and we had a receipt or whatever. Yeah. And then he said to me, when we lived in LA, he had a nanny from Guatemala named Teresa, who we love. And he said, whenever we would leave a store, like, Teresa would let him carry the receipt, but he had to, like, keep it out and, like, have it, right?
Yep.
And he was like, why? Like, he didn't understand why, what she was so fussy about, you know? So I had to explain it.
Yep.
And because he was framing it as, like, why was she paranoid?
Right.
Because to him,
white
that
privilege.
would be.
Right.
Nobody's ever going to think Lincoln is stealing Cocoa Puffs.
Right.
And so that was interesting because it's a totally different life experience. And they have to wander the world in a totally different way.
Yeah. And how awesome is it, like, that your kid was able to recognize this is different than it was, and even just communicate that and give you an opportunity to explain and show him why.
Yeah, she's not paranoid.
Right.
You're not paranoid if it's true.
And that is exactly why, like, being around people who are different than you is important, and exposing your kids to different experiences and cultures and people, and, like, in a real way where they're, like, going about their day doing the same thing. To see that, I had a different understanding of I had a conceptual understanding of the microaggressions that Black people deal with all the time. And then when I dated somebody who's Black, I was like, oh my God, I see that. And this is an observer. I couldn't even imagine if I'm receiving those kind of microaggressions on the daily. Mm-hmm. So yeah, unless you, even with the knowledge, like, it's a totally different experience.
Yeah. And I mean, I was glad that he mentioned it so I could explain it, because
he's just so observant.
I know, but it's sort of exhausting. I'm like real tired over here.
You did that.
Sarah, you're like, again, you hold the keys to your prison. It is like a blessing and a curse, as everything is.
Mom hosts a Brain Candy podcast for literally his entire life, as long as he's been on this planet, practically. And he's wondering why he's inquisitive and brainy and curious. I have no idea.
Questions. Oh, God. Anywho, we covered a lot of ground, and you're not giving yourself enough credit because you're acting like it wasn't teachy enough, but it was.
Okay. Well, maybe you learned some things. Maybe you can just, like, explain. Like, I love any stories about experiences you have that make you think it's a glitch in the Matrix, or like it's all simulation.
Because it is starting to get weird.
It's starting to get weirder, Susie.
Yeah.
Like, I say things and then they're right there. And then
Do you think it's because when you're in the digital era, you're exposed to so much more, like, information all the time, and so then there's more quote unquote coincidences that you notice? Yeah,
maybe.
But that T-shirt on that one was not digital; it was in real life, IRL.
Very weird.
And she was like, not picking up the cue.
It's like I should have had the experience with the person in the shirt with the fancy drunk lady.
They got mixed up. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. The world is weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. I think I'm going to try astral projecting tonight. We'll see.
What the hell is that?
You know, like lucid dreaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they have those, like, binaural beats where you, like, put the headphones in and you listen to different tones. And I just was like, let me just try that. Like I don't know.
Sure.
Because it helps me relax, whatever. And I'm like, I'll try the one for that. And I just started listening to about 5 minutes of it. And I was like, whoa, too much. Let's go to a different wavelength.
Were you on drugs at that time?
No! Totally sobes.
Well, what was too much about it?
Yeah, in fact, I didn't even have any wine that night either. It felt like, have you ever stayed up later than maybe you should, and then you try to fall asleep, and it feels like you're slipping into dream world while still being awake a little.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like things start to become harder to differentiate between like, am I asleep or am I awake?
Life is but a dream. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was happening like way fast. I was like, whoa. Usually this happens at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this could happen. So I'm going to try
Do it again.
I know. I'm like, these are the conversations I'm having to myself. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just a simulation. And if that's the case, okay, so you go and take a little trip and then you come right back to your body.
Come
like
back,
the computer game is always going to work the same. You're not going to like go somewhere else and like never come back. That's how the computer game works. This like,
yeah, it's Jumanji.
yeah, you're always going to return. Like that's what, so. We'll
yes.
see. Next episode might be real interesting. Or boring, I don't know.
No, but do it because...
Okay, I'm going to. Stop
Okay.
peer pressuring me.
Although, I mean, that's kind of what those people on LSD did that then murdered people. So,
okay,
like,
well, we're not
all
going
right,
to do that.
I don't know.
Nobody's
Okay, I
taking
went too
LSD
far.
over here.
Okay, well, anyway, you get the gist. It was weird. We're in a simulation. There's sublimation. Sublimation and simulation.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sublimation simulation episode. I like it.
All right, friends. We'll see you next time.
Bye.